Why do new loan officers always want to do 5 loans a month? I don't know, but let's talk about it. I'm Nick Carpenter. Welcome back to the YouTube channel. If you haven't already, make sure that you hit that like and subscribe button and the bell so you can get notified down there whenever I'm putting out new videos. Hey, look, appreciate you for being here today. We're talking about how every time I talk to a new loan officer on the phone, they inevitably want to do 5 loans a month. And I don't know where that comes from. I mean, it's kind of interesting, right? I understand everybody has goals, but if you actually look at the math of the mortgage industry, like, it's very easy to make a living here, you know? It takes work to make a lot of money, but it's very easy just to, like, eke out a living. When I was looking at, you know, anytime I talk about numbers, I'm always basing it off of 175 basis points. If you're getting paid less than that, maybe you're getting underpaid, you know, and if you're making over that, awesome, congratulations, you know. But I do it at 175 because I think that's kind of about a middle point for most people. If you're comfortable, I mean, let me know in the comments. What's a normal bips for you, right? Am I accurate by thinking 175 is kind of normal? So anyways, and I'm also looking at it based on $300,000 loans because, again, the national average is over 400,000 right now. So I want to be conservative, and I'm just going to go with 300,000 as the loans and really look at the numbers. So, like, you know, if you just did 1 loan a month at 300,000, making 175 basis points, that's over $5,000 a month, right? Now, again, I'm not saying that that's going to give you a great life. We're just talking about 1 loan here, you know? But like with 2 loans is kind of what I talked before is, you know, everybody's goals don't have to be the same, you know? Sometimes quality of life matters more than how many hours can I sit at my desk to make a couple $1,000s more a month, you know? So I mentioned I've got a client who his goal for 2026 is to do 14 loans, or I think 15 loans. And if he, you know, when we did the math on it, that'd make him over $100,000. And he's like, I'm perfectly fine with that, right? Did you know you can do only 2 loans a month for $300,000 each, making 175 basis points? And you can make over $10,000 a month. That's $10,500 in commission, you know? And if you keep ratcheting all the way up, you get up to where if you did 5 loans a month at $300,000, it's about like $26,000 a month, somewhere around in that range. And, you know, so it's like $300,000 a year. You know, you're automatically like, that's top 10% income earner in America. And again, I'm for goals, but also like, if you're not doing any deals, you're brand new, you know, or you're just trying to figure out how to grow, is like, just focus on just getting 1 deal, you know? Again, have goals, you know, to do 5 loans a month. But if you're doing 0 right now, let's just focus on getting 1, you know? But also, again, sometimes people get into this, you know, America is obviously the hustle culture and everybody wants to outdo the next person and, you know, have bigger, better goals than what they had for last year. Sometimes that's just not necessary. I mean, what if you just strive for a better quality of life, you know? I mean, money's awesome. It's very important in America, but so's quality of life, you know? So's like being a parent and spending time with your spouse and your kids and being able to travel and see things and do things and create memories, right? All of that matters maybe more than, you know, the actual money, but you have to have the money, right? But sometimes people just get in this like pursuit of how many dollars can I have, and it's kind of a weird goal. So I looked at the actual numbers in America to see, okay, if you wanted to be in the top 10% of income earners in America, you have to do that's $210,000 a year, okay? $210,000 a year. In order to make $210,000 a year as a loan officer, making 175 basis points, that's $12 million in loans. That's $1 million a month, right? That's very doable, okay? $1 million a month, that gets you in the top 10% income earners in America. $210,000, okay? What if you have bigger goals than that? What if you want to be in the top 5% of income earners in America? Well, that's $335,000 of income, $335,000. And in order to make $335,000 at 175 basis points, it's $19.1 million, right? $19.1 million of loan production, okay? So, you know, obviously if you look at production, 19 million, people scoff at that, you know? Anyways, that puts you in the top 5% of income earners in America. Now, if you're you have big goals, and you want to be a top 1% income earner in America, you have to make $787,000 to do that. To be in the top 1%, you have to make $787,000. So if you make 175 basis points, that's 44.9 million, basically $45 million of production, right? So to be in the top, again, top 10% is only $1 million a month as an average, right? You can definitely do that. And all the way up to 45 million, which is it. The interesting thing about that is that I don't even think 45 million, I think you have to do like in the 30s right now in order to get in the Scotsman's Guide, in order to be in the top 10% of loan officers. You have to, or top, what's the Scotsman's Guide, 10% or it's 1%? I'm kind of having a brain fart right now. But anyways, to be on that list, you usually have to make like in the 30s, right? So it's just kind of interesting. But again, just wanted to show you kind of what the math looks like. I'm sure you've probably done the math, but it's always interesting to me how everybody wants to do 5 loans a month. I'm going to do 5 loans a month. And I think that is a great goal. But even consistently doing 2 loans a month in the very beginning would be like epic, right? Depending on what kind of job you left, you probably weren't making 10 grand a month in that job, right? But now coming over to the mortgage industry, you can do that just doing $200,000-$300,000 loans. And you can see how the numbers could shift based on if you do bigger loans or if you get paid more, and all that sort of thing. But fascinating when you actually break down the math. I think a lot of people just say 5 loans a month because it like sounds good. It's like a round number. If you say 4, psychologically sounds a lot less than 5 when you think about it, right? Anyways, I don't know, right? When you were brand new, what was your goals? I mean, what were you trying to do per month? And then what did you actually do, And again, I'm all for having huge goals because even if you don't get all the way there, you get partly there, and that's awesome. So I'm not saying don't have goals, but also just look at the math and see like, man, what do you actually got to do just to live your life, and be able to have fun and then like continue to grow as you want to grow. It may not be 5 loans a month. Most people don't need $26,000 a month to live, Again, I'm all for growth and making big money. Anyways, yeah, again, hopefully you subscribe and let me know in the comments anything you have to say about what we talked about here today. And if you like what I'm talking about, you want to work with me more, you want to understand how that works, I run the Legion of Loan Officers, and so you can check that out, legionofloanofficers.com. And we basically are focused on helping you attract realtor partners by actually delivering real, tangible value to realtors fast so that they want to send you a deal and see what it's like working with you. So check it out, legionofloanofficers.com. Appreciate you for being here. See ya.